Good evening. We've got a little bit of a slow start today because I've got some technical problems. Surprise, surprise. Well, this kind of thing happens, so I'm going to see if I can straighten it out before we really get going here. I'd like to welcome anybody who's here. We're going to go over a few things. I'm going to talk a little bit about future programs that are coming up. I've got some exciting stuff coming in the future, so I do want to talk about that. Tonight, we're going to talk about a very simple thing that a few people have asked me about to help simplify it for them. I know for most of you, this is a no-brainer, but there are people out there who have a little bit of a struggle on how to get your camera strap attached to your camera. So we're going to talk about that tonight. But in the meantime, if I kind of fade out and fade in, you'll know that there's something going on here that I'm having some problems with. So you'll just have to bear with me. If you're here now, what I'd like to make sure that you do, if you have any questions, then use your text or your chat box to send me a question, but begin it with a Q and a colon. That way I'll know it's a question and it won't get lost in the rest of the comments as we go along. So please, in the comments box, all you have to do is start it with a Q colon and I'll know that it's a question. Let's see, I think I have a ticker as a matter of fact. Let's see if I do. Here we go. Perfect. To ask a question. So I've got that running. Fantastic. And now I've got to see if I can do anything else here to help this slight technical problem I have. Anyway, if you're here on YouTube, please send me a comment. Let me know where you're from and who you are. Well, I'll know who you are, but send a comment. Let me know where you're from and if this is the first time that you've come to the chat. Okay, good. Now, I'm just going to ask you to bear with me because I am going to. Hi, Marlene. Nice to have you with me, or with us, actually, I should say. It's great to have you here. Let me see if I can. I'm going to have to set this up again. And Audrey, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're looking forward to it. I'm sorry we have some technical problems, but we're going to straighten that out. And Ian, nice to have you here. It's fantastic, and I'm going to, like I say, I'm going to take care of some technical problems, and we'll get on with it. I'm very happy that you guys could make it. It's fantastic. Well, certainly we can talk about that, and I can talk a little bit more about. Did you, Marlene? Did you see the little video I had on fireworks? Are there any evening classes in photography? That's what Ian is asking. Are you talking about formal classes like at Mohawk College or classes that I put on? The reason I ask that is because in the future I'm planning to put together an 8 or a 10 week photography program right here, and I don't know if that's something that might interest you, but certainly that's something that I'm considering is an 8 or 10 week photography program, a basic one that starts right from the bottom and all the way to probably mid-level. Okay, so yeah, it'll be one of my programs. Actually, if you go to YouTube, I'm going to be putting up some bite-sized lessons that you can take advantage of right now. And what's going to happen is I'm going to keep putting up little bite-sized lessons on YouTube, and then I'm going to actually pull together an 8 or 10 week course that runs maybe for 2 hours once a week in the evening. If that's something that might interest you, I'll certainly let you know. Okay, so back to my little situation here. I have to open up the Zoom window. Funny thing, I'm not hearing. I'm just going to end the Zoom meeting for a minute and open it back up again. And I'm going to see if I can. Not sure why that's not connecting. Should be. Everything should be working just tickety-boo. 100% virtual screen. Hmm. I didn't want that. There we go. Okay, let's try this one more time. There we go. I'm sorry for this. I just can't get my Zoom window open for some reason, so it'll just take a second for me to do that. I'm sorry. This had to happen tonight, didn't it? And stream. Okay. Well, if I can't, I can't. Finally. Okay. Good. Well, we've got it running. Anyway, that's the main thing. I've got it open on a separate window. Oh, wonderful. Here we go. Hi, Pete. How are you? I'm glad everybody's here. Ah, yeah. Well, there's no such thing as late in this program. It's not like it's a classroom where there's a beginning and an end. We're just going to be doing everything as it comes along. So just bear with us. I had a little bit of a technical problem here that I think I've straightened out to my satisfaction anyway, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, good. So we have some people on YouTube, and I'd like to welcome everybody here. I think on Zoom, you're the only one that's here. So As far as I know, if you're here from LinkedIn, just let me know, and I'd be happy to say hello to you. Just let me know in the comments section on LinkedIn, please. Okay, great, fantastic. Okay, Pete, now I can see you. That's terrific. Now, what I'm going to talk about to begin with tonight is we've got some exciting things coming up. One of those things will be Donna Waxman's water drop photography. This is photographs of water drops on leaves, on branches, and things like that, and using those water drops as a lens. So this is something that I hope to have maybe running either closer to the end of this month or sometime maybe next month. But it's going to be fantastic. It's absolutely interesting type of photography that Donna does, and she's going to show you what she does and how she does it. The other one that's going to be coming up is Madagascar. Now, Terry Gilman is going to be doing this in September. She's going to be coming in and talking about her and her husband's trip to Madagascar and other places too on a sailboat. So they launched on a sailboat and they traveled everywhere on the sailboat. And I'm not sure for how long. It's probably on her website, but for a long time. But the interesting part of her trip was Madagascar because it was really off the beaten path. She went and visited tribes that very, very few tourists ever got to see, and she ran into some difficulty. She had a brand new Canon, brand new Canon, and she ran into trouble with this Canon. The mirror assembly fell out, and it was a problem, according to Canon, that in very hot, humid weather that could happen. So obviously, she was nowhere near a place where she could send it in or repair it or swap it or anything else. So she had to do some MacGyvering, and she had to figure out, how am I going to take photographs in this wonderful place? And she did. She took photographs, and I'll let her tell you all about that adventure when she does it. Now, the other thing that I have coming, which is going to be fantastic, that'll probably be later this month, and that is Jason Church. He's going to give you an introduction to drone photography here. And drone photography, of course, is really emerging for a lot of people, but he's going to tell us about what it is that is required in drone photography, what kind of drones are available, what kind of licensing you need in order to operate various types of drones or don't need. It's going to be fantastic. And he's also going to show you some drone images that he has taken. So those are things in the future. Now, they're lined up, kind of, but the other thing that I'm going to be talking about, hopefully with somebody at McMaster or maybe somebody at a police department. I hope to get somebody who's into forensic photography, police photography, and if they can come aboard, tell us what that occupation's all about, what some of the challenges are, and maybe even some of the images that they're allowed to show. So look forward to that too. The only other thing that I can think of is McMaster. I'm looking for the photographer, the medical photographer at McMaster, to find out what his job's all about and to show us some of the equipment that he uses, microscopes, electronic microscopes, so on, and he has to take pictures. And he's going to show us, hopefully, those things that he does. So I'm looking forward to talking to somebody there and possibly have them on as a guest. So these are all things that I'm hoping for in the future in this particular program. Now, to be honest, I set this up as a Monday night program. It may not stay on Monday night. It depends on how popular it is, because popularity is going to be an important thing. So it may change. Now, the only other thing that may change it is I have a job offer for Mohawk for Monday night online classes. So if that happens, well, then I'll have to change it to another evening and I'll have to decide which evening is best, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't think Friday evening's a good one. Thursday, maybe. But I think probably Tuesday or Wednesday are going to be my favorites for this kind of thing, even though Tuesday would be right after my Monday night class, but that's all right. Or maybe, who knows, Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning. I don't know. I have to think about it. And maybe you guys have some suggestions as to um, what might be a good evening, afternoon, morning. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. Anyway, tonight, what we're going to be talking about is very quickly, and then I'll get on to other things here. Very quickly, I want to talk about how to attach a strap to your camera. Now, again, this is a fairly simple thing, but it can be a little bit convoluted for some people, but I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that it can be configured. So let's start right off with that, and here we go.
How to attach a shoulder strap to your camera. This particular camera has a small triangular clasp that you're going to use to attach the strap. Other cameras have an indent here with a straight bar across it. Same procedure for both. So determine which is going to be the outside of your camera strap. This is going to be on the outside. This with the texture is going to be on the inside. So I'm going to turn it over because this is going to be the outside of the strap like this. And I'm going to take the strap over here. Make sure the strap has a buckle on it and a small clasp. You can move that clasp up if you want. Nevertheless, this is the way it's going to be connected. Now, there are a couple of different ways to connect it. Mine, I like to have the loose end on the inside of the strap, not the outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that end and put it in through the clasp. All right, let's get that clasp ready here, like that, and that's just going to fit in there very nicely, and I'm going to pull it through to about where I think that I would want that to stay. Now, the next thing I do is I will take this loose end and put it through the clasp. And this might be a little bit tight, but we'll do our best here. There we go. I think we've got it in. Good. And I think I can pull it through now. Let me have a closer look at this. A little wiggling, and there. Now it's through that particular clasp that keeps the straps together. The next thing I have to look at is the buckle. This part is what people find tricky, but it's really not. All you have to do before you even do anything with the loose end of the strap is you create a loop. Then what you do is you take this strap and the part that's closest to the camera, that opening, you feed it through. Then all you have to do is take that and create a loop and feed it back through this part, the other part of that buckle. And I'm going to just feed it through just like that. Now it's through. I'm going to pull this one tight. I'm going to pull the other one tight on top of it. Now I have a nice tight connection to the camera, and I can place that clasp either up here, some people prefer it down at the bottom, and that's totally up to you. And now I have this attached. If you want, you can shorten this so that you don't have such a long piece hanging out. You can pull the clasp, you can usually pull it up, but I'm going to have to create a loop here again, so that, and then I'm going to pull the clasp tighter like this and make this part a little shorter like that. Now that will be on the inside now of the strap when I attach it over my shoulder. Now some people don't like this little piece hanging out here. You can get rid of that simply by going through the whole process again, a little differently this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to cause another loop to happen on the running end, so to speak, of that strap, and I'm going to pull it through. But instead of putting it through this side, I'm going to put it through the other side. Okay, once I have it through the other side, I'm going to loop it back down through the side it came out of, right there. And let me just push it through that. It's giving me a little bit of a hesitancy there. I want it to go down through there. There, it's in. Now I can pull that tight, and I can pull this tight. And as you can see now, that loose end is between those two straps. And if I want to make sure that doesn't run anywhere, I can pull my little clasp up against it, and there's no loose end hanging around anywhere if you do it in this configuration. And that's it. That's how you attach a camera strap.
Well, wasn't that easy? Okay, so that's another thing that I'll be planning. Every time we have one of these evenings, I'm going to have a short lesson on something. And I think that that hopefully that lesson will be valuable to you guys. Let me see. I'm just going to have a quick look and see if there are any other participants waiting. And no, there are not. So we'll press on. For those of you that are on YouTube, unfortunately, oh, here we go. We've got Lulart from Peru. Well, welcome. Um, I'm not sure how they say welcome in Spanish. Uh, I don't know. Maybe somebody else. Uh, Anyway, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I know that you said something earlier to me that hopefully by being here, you'll get a little bit more of an English training. I hope so. You're always welcome here. And I've seen some of your work. It's fantastic. And I've seen some of your photography, and it's very good. So I'd like to welcome you here. Now, one of the things that you can do is, of course, you can show your photography here. And the best way to do that is if anybody here wants to show their photography, I'm going to change the setup a little bit so that people on YouTube can come in as an interview. If you come in as an interview, it gives me the opportunity to put you on the program live and also to be able to show photographs or videos that you've shot or taken. Of course, this is much simpler on Zoom. So anyway, that's fantastic. And we have, let's see. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Bienvenido. 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 Yeah, and you're trying to understand. That's fantastic. Not only is this a photography thing, but it's going to become a class for um, English as a second language. That's fantastic. Nice to have you here. Pete, what's new with you? I know that you can actually come on here. Let me see if I can get you in just to show people how that would work. And let's see. I'm going to go to um, and I'm just trying to, there we go. And Pete, I'm going to put you in #1 spot. Right like that. And you see all of a sudden, there you go. Pete's back. Hi, Pete. How are you doing? Let's see. There we go. I just had to turn your mic on. Sorry. How are you
Oh,
doing?
okay. How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
So, have you been doing a lot of shooting?
Not too much lately. I've had a back issue, so I'm hobbling around with a walker and a cane, which somewhat limits my activity, but um, I'm on the lookout. I do a lot of shooting in my wife's garden out the back.
Okay. Well, isn't that? Oh, look, we've got somebody here from India, Pete. Uh, Sundar Raj.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. Is that right? Yeah. I don't know what time is it in India right now. I have no idea, but hopefully Sundar will, or Raj, I guess, will give us the time in India. I think that it's probably early in the morning. Somebody can Google that maybe. Anyway, this is how I would bring guests in, both on YouTube and on Zoom. On Zoom, it's a little bit easier for me because you come in and I can add you very quickly. On YouTube, I have to know ahead of time that you want to show some photographs or you have something to show me. So it's like the art that um, Lolart has. She can show the photographs of some of the jewelry she makes, and they're beautiful. But I have to know that she's going to do that ahead of time, and I can bring her in as a guest, show the photographs of her art. So maybe next Monday evening we can do that. Now, I know that what I have said in the past is that I'm going to have 1 hour set aside every Monday night to do this. The only time we've broken that 1 hour is when I've had a guest on. And I think what's going to happen in the future is I'm letting the guests know they have a half hour for their presentation, not an hour and a half. That way that they can get their presentation over with, and I can also make sure that I get a small lesson in because I do want to do that on every one of these. The other thing that I'm going to ask of you, if you don't mind, is if you just let me know um, if there's anything that in particular that you want a lesson on, anything that might be baffling you or puzzling you or that you want clarified, let me know because I'll do a lesson just on that on a Monday night. I'll make it real quick and as easy as I can. You know my style, so I think you'll understand what I'm saying. For most of you, I think most of you have been students of mine at one time or another. But the beauty of this, of course, is that we can go international, no problem. The only thing might be a language barrier, but other than that, if you're interested in photography, if you want a quick lesson every Monday night, this is the place to come. And you can ask right here. You can ask about if you want something clarified. Just ask right now, and I can help you with that. So that's the whole idea behind this. Now, to show photographs, Zoom is best or YouTube, but I'll bring you in as an interviewee, and that way you can show your photographs or videos for that matter that you want if you've done anything special, or even if you have a question as to, geez, why did this not work for me? Or Why did this work for me? That's even a better question sometimes. So, does anybody have any questions right now of me, either about this particular chat program that I'm trying to develop? I'm really trying hard to get this thing going, and the more people I have coming in, the better it's going to be. So, if you do have questions, just put them in the comment line, and we're going to be fine.
Jorj, are you still hearing me?
I am.
Okay. I mentioned previously when my mic was off, YouTube is running about 25 seconds beyond delayed from Zoom. So if you ask a question, it might be 25 seconds before you get a reply from YouTube.
I know. That's one of the drawbacks. That is one of the drawbacks. Yeah.
It's like
Um,
having a conversation with somebody on Mars.
well, it
It
is,
takes about
and the thing is that
15 minutes.
I like on the YouTube. I've got the YouTube channel playing here, so I can see what you're seeing on YouTube, but it's delayed, like you say, about 20-25 seconds, and that's normal
Mhm.
for YouTube. So I try not to listen to YouTube because what happens then is I get my conversation 25 seconds later while I'm talking. So I turn the volume off on YouTube and hope for the best. And if somebody does ask a question on YouTube, even the comments are delayed. So there is going to be that kind of a delay. Um, there's no question that technology is going to be something like that. Okay, so what is the feature of a mobile photographer? Okay, well, let's see. To answer that, it's interesting because I had a question today. Somebody actually asked me if if I'm into real estate photography because they wanted to know if I had the equipment to do real estate photography. And I used to do I used to do a lot of real estate photography. There was a time when I was shooting in Toronto, Mississauga, all the way out to London. I was doing real estate photography, and that included apartments. So I think that my answer to them was that you don't need sophisticated equipment anymore. For example, your cell phone camera is plenty large enough in pixels and quality to be able to do real estate photography. And the reason for that is where do they use the real estate photographs? Where do they use them? They use them online. And you don't need the high powered DSLR or mirrorless cameras in order to take photographs for websites. Now, the lens quality might be a little bit better, but I'll tell you, I dare you to tell the difference between a DSLR shot on a website and a cell phone shot on a website. So a lot of people, if you use the cell phone properly, and I've had classes on cell phones, if you use the cell phone camera properly, you will get excellent photographs. No doubt about it. You can take as good a photograph as some DSLRs. Now, can they be enlarged as much? No. If you're going for enlarging to, 20 by 20s or larger, or you want to do a wallpaper, no. Cell phones aren't going to handle that. But for the most part, most photographs that we take stay on the web or stay on your camera or an iPad or even a laptop. The cell phone photographs are plenty good enough for that. You just have to have your settings properly adjusted in your cell phone to give you the best quality possible. So that's the big trick. Then getting used to your cell phone to make sure that you use your cell phone correctly. The camera has a lot of features. You can do editing right away on your cell phone photographs. So that's another big bonus that DSLRs really don't have. But take advantage of it. Take advantage of your cell phone. Use your cell phone. And I'll tell you what, when I have a DSLR class and I'm teaching those students about how to use their DSLR or their mirrorless cameras, I tell them, apply the knowledge that I'm giving you about DSLRs, apply it to your cell phone, and you'll have better photographs. Because a lot of cell phone photographers don't know photography. They don't know about depth of field. They don't know about stopping motion and blurring motion, how to do it on a cell phone. And many times they get some things confused. For example, they get blur confused with out of focus. There's a big difference because it can be in focus and blurry. So, yeah, if you take a DSLR class and apply it to a cell phone, your photography is going to improve. No doubt about it. Okay, what do we have here? I'm just looking at, oh, there we go. Okay, Lola, great. I got that one. Audrey, what settings would you suggest when you have no choice but to take a photo that is brightly backlit? For example, inside with a bright window in the background. That is a tough nut to crack for most photographers, Audrey. And what I would do in a case like that is I'd use my flash. Now, typically, if you're not into what they call synchro sun or fill flash, that's the way you would go. But use your built-in flash, set your camera to program mode, and generally the program mode will take care of the fill flash to give you just enough flash to brighten up your image, and your background will be the proper exposure. Typically in one of my courses, here's how I would do it with a flash that's built in or an external flash. What I would do is I would take an exposure of the background, shutter speed and aperture for the background. Okay. Once you've got that, you know the background will be properly exposed. Then the flash, I set the flash, and this is the part that you have to learn about flash, and you have to have your manual and read all about it. But I would set your flash to one stop less to provide light, one stop less than the aperture or stop that's required for the background. That way, your flash doesn't overwhelm. It doesn't look like obvious, really bright picture or bright image on the person. If you use your flash that way, the flash won't affect the background at all, but it will affect the person that you're photographing in the foreground, and you don't want so much light on them that it looks like you've got sun inside the room. You don't want that. So what I do is I back off the flash, maybe a half stop, maybe a full stop, and see what it looks like. And that's the best way to do it, using fill flash. Now, another way, if you don't want to use fill flash, is to use a reflector. So if you have a silver reflector and you put it in front of the person, maybe down low or maybe up high, and you bounce the light that's coming through the window back on them, that's another way that you can do it. And you've got these reflectors that fold up real small. You can have reflectors that are like, well, what are they in diameter? Maybe a foot, 2 feet in diameter. Using the silver part of the reflector, you can reflect enough light back into that person's face to be able to take a good photograph, and they won't look like silhouettes against the background. So, does that help? I hope it does.
Jorj, if I'm still being heard, I have a suggestion.
Yes, go ahead.
Um, an inexpensive reflector you can buy at Canadian Tire. It's called a sunscreen that you put in your window when you leave your car so the car doesn't overheat. costs a fraction of the price and does the same thing. And it's white on one side and kind of silvery on the other side.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a good idea, and certainly that'll work. I think that there's so many things that you can MacGyver and not have to pay the price of actual photographic material. It's like for a lot of the portraits that I take, even the professional portraits, I don't actually use a reflector. I go to Michael's, which is an art shop, and I go in the art shop and buy myself a foam core, white foam core because I love just plain white. My flash is strong enough to light one side of the person. The foam core is right next to them, just outside of camera frame, and it bounces enough light back in, no shadows from that, and I love it. And it's cheap. I think it's $5 a sheet, the size of the sheet I need, 4x4 maybe. Excuse me. So yeah, that's a good idea too. Let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, that's true. You'll you'll have the window shades with you when you're driving, of course. But you know what? I would buy two. One I would use for the car. The other one I would cut up and make it the sizes, different sizes that I want. Um, uh, because I don't want to be carrying the whole wide window shade with me. Now, I might do that if I'm taking full length because those are fairly long, or wide, I guess you would say. But if you turn them this way, they're fairly long, and you can take a three-quarter length photograph of somebody, and because they would cover that three-quarter length with light, that would certainly work. Uh, and that's the beauty of photography. You get a chance to experiment. You really get a chance to experiment. And I suggest that don't be I mean, what can you lose? You a couple of frames. It's not like you're buying film anymore or making prints. So try different things. Try things that are unconventional, perhaps. Like, I really do like the idea of Pete's uh, reflectors for cars. That's great. Good idea. Okay. Are there any other questions? Is there anybody here um, that has any questions about either future programs? We've got about 15 minutes left, and I'm going to repeat again for those people that weren't here that if you want to show some of your photographs, if you want to be part of this program, let me know ahead of time, and I can bring people in as interview people. I can interview you, and you can actually you'll be live, and you'll be able to share your photographs with everybody. And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that can um, come in, share their photographs, get some comments on them, get a critique on them, and leave happy. Like I said, the way I'm setting up this program is I'm going to have some people who are guests that will be coming in here. We did have a travel agent as well in here a couple of weeks ago who sets up specific travel for photographers. That's what her aim is. And during that one, my lesson was on what to watch out for in different countries to make sure that you're within the regulations of those countries to take photographs because they vary and sometimes they're very fussy. You can be taking a photograph not knowing that it's against the law. And yeah, what could happen? Well, they can certainly tell you off. That's one thing that could happen, and that's the best thing that could happen. They might tell you, put your camera away, don't do that. Or they'll confiscate your camera, and in some cases, maybe just confiscate your memory card, or they can fine you, which is no fun either, or you go to jail. And you say, go to jail for taking a photograph? Yeah, they do that. So you have to know if you're going to a country, you have to know what the rules and regulations are. And my suggestion was that if you are going somewhere, get in touch with that embassy or consulate and say, I'm going to be taking some photographs in your country. Can you give me a list of regulations and rules about photography? And you know what? They'll do that. And then you read that up and you say, oh, I didn't know you can't photograph, like a train station or communication hub like that. So that kind of thing can really save you some grief. Okay. Well, I think that, let's see, it's 10 to 8. If there are no other questions, and I hope that I've answered any questions, if I haven't, I apologize. Ask them again, but don't forget to put a Q and a colon when about the question, because that's important. That way I know it's uh, it's a question and I can pay attention to it. So to ask questions in this forum, always put a Q colon in front of it, because then I can go back through the comments very quickly and see that there's a question there. Because I can actually search for Q and bring up only those comments and make sure that I go through them and answer those for you. I'm a little surprised there aren't more Zoom people in here, but that's the way it goes. I had quite a few before. Now, let's see. I don't think there's anything else, but like I said, please help me make this forum successful. Help me make it so that we can continue with lessons, each one of these lessons. If you look at my YouTube channel, I've already posted what I call some bite-size lessons about shutter speed, aperture. I'm even going to break those down smaller. I might even talk about shutter speed only and what it can do and how it works. And then I'll talk about aperture, what it can do and how it works for exposure. And then I'll talk about ISO in another little segment, breaking them up into small segments. And if you put those together, now you have the exposure triangle of shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. Then how to meter, because many people don't know how to meter properly. They really guess. And that goes for cell phones too. Your cell phones actually do metering. And before you even take the picture, you can take a metering of your scene and increase or decrease the exposure before you do the snapshot. A lot of people don't know that. You can do that. And you can do autofocus lock and auto exposure lock on cell phones. Yes, you can. So photography is photography. I don't care what you use for your shots. I think I even have a camera here. Now, how simple is that? Somebody just gave that to me the other day. They didn't even know what it was, and it's an amazing. It's a Kodak. What is it? I can't read that right now, but let me see. Where's the shutter release? Oh, here it is. Wow, check that out. That's the shutter. This is like a pinhole camera, but it doesn't matter. It's a camera. It's still shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. Any camera you pick up, cell phone, DSLR, mirrorless, it's all that. And you know what? That's the beauty of photography. It's so simple. You just have to know the rules. And once you know those, everything that's built in on that camera, because they're amazing. DSLRs today and mirrorless cameras are amazing. They're not just cameras, they're computers. So take advantage of them. Take advantage of everything they have to offer. And we'll be talking about all of that in future segments and future chats. I hope that interests you, and I hope you do come back. Okay, I'm going to turn this off, and I'm just going to. Yeah, I'd love to see the photographs that you have taken with your mobile. And I think that if you come back next week, I'll make sure that I'm going to bring everybody in as a possible interviewer. And if you have some of your photographs set up so that you can show them in a PDF file, one after another, or in some sort of a let's see, what's the other one now? Um, Man, I can't think of it. Isn't that terrible? Uh, but in a slide format, I will be happy to show it. Okay, Barry, you're welcome. This is fantastic. Nice to have you in here. Thank you very much. It's great. So please keep coming back and enjoy these lessons. Yeah, it's a Kodak box camera. Uh, so it's great to have you in here, Sundar Raj. Okay. Well, Audrey, I'm glad this was valuable for you. And I'm glad you were all here. So I'm going to close down now. I hope that all of you enjoyed this program, and I'm just going to give you the final. Please give me a like on the video and also subscribe if you haven't. Please subscribe. That way you'll be informed of any new videos coming out that are bite-sized lessons, and you'll be informed ahead of time for the Monday night 7 to 8 chat that we're going to have. Uh, I'd love to have you all back. I'd love to have you show your images. So if you intend to show your images, let me know ahead of time. Make sure you do that, and then we can set it up so that you can do that. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you. Audrey, thank you, and we'll see you next week, I hope. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jorj.
You're welcome, Pete.